Marty Smith's here now.
That's right. Let's
jump
go
into
to Marty. ESPN's Marty
Sorry,
Smith.
boys. I'm a little late. I'm way behind here on my schedule, but I love you. Hi.
Yeah, we love you, Marty, and we're not gonna razz you too much. I will later in a text.
Yeah. Do we get 94 seconds with you to
What do
get
you
you
want us
back
to
on
do?
time?
We're gonna take as long as y'all need, and then
Okay.
I'll just catch you up on the backside. It's all
We'll
good.
be good. We'll be good. Marty is with us courtesy of Game Change, which is a brand new NIL platform. And Marty will tell us about that. Why don't you tease people on what this is about to be, and then at the end you can really hook them in.
I love this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's an interesting initiative. I was intrigued. I didn't know, all right, do I want to be involved in this? But here's what it is. You know how you go into the grocery store now?
Yep.
And they ask you to round up?
Uh-huh.
It's that type of platform, but you go on gogamechange.com, you input whatever credit or debit card you so choose, and the school you love. And every purchase you make with that credit card, it automatically rounds up to the next dollar on your bill, and the balance goes straight to the university you chose. It's also a tax write-off. It's considered a charitable donation. It goes to the athletic department, and then they decide how they're going to distribute that money. So it's a pretty cool initiative, man. Like, as a guy who went to Radford, super low D1, we're sitting here trying to figure out how can we stay sustainable. Forget competitive. Listen, how do we be sustainable and get these athletes and be able to pay them and infrastructure and all that? And this is just a cool way for people to be able to do it. I just thought it was a neat initiative.
Yeah. So if I roll to the local Publix and my bill is $20.02 and I'm in this program, that means my favorite school, Radford, is getting 98 cents.
That's correct. And it's every single purchase you make with that card, and it goes directly to that school. And then that athletic department distributes it as they so choose to what they so choose, and you get a nice write-off at the end of the year. It's just neat because, not all of us have these millions of dollars to put our name on buildings and whatnot, and those that do, y'all know this, with Auburn and with Bama, there's donor fatigue.
Yep.
Like, people are tired of giving money, man, and so this is a cool way for you to do it in just a unique, thoughtless, honestly, it's already happening on your behalf way.
To me, Marty, there's like 4 pivotal games in college football this weekend. I'm going to go from the back, and then we can move forward. But Sunday night, we've got USC and LSU, and both coaches coming into year 3 in Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley. And both coaches haven't accomplished what they've wanted to. And I don't know, this just seems like a massive game. Who would this game be bigger for, in your opinion? Brian Kelly or Lincoln Riley?
Well, it's huge for both of them. I was in Baton Rouge all day Monday. I sat down with Coach Kelly. I sat down with Mason Taylor. For a long time, I'm doing a feature on him, and his father, of course, is Jason Taylor, the Hall of Famer from the Dolphins. And it's massive for both, but it's probably bigger. I mean, if I'm picking one for Lincoln, because Brian Kelly won the SEC. He won the SEC West and beat Nick Saban in year 1 and sent Jaden Daniels to the Heisman. And if they had any semblance of defense, could stop any nosebleed, they might have been a contender for the conference. Like, I would not say Brian Kelly is behind schedule or hasn't lived up to his expectation. I think he's done a really good job. And I also believe, based on my conversations with him Monday, he's very, very, very happy with the team he has, with Garrett Nussmeier's evolution into a leader. He can always rip it, right? Can he throw a check down? Can he lead in the huddle? Can he be a guy in the locker room that his guys look at and galvanize and follow? And he believes that's who he is now, watching Jaden for 2 years. So, but, Lincoln loses a generational player. They've had no defense during his time at SC. He's changed the defensive coordinator. He was very loyal to Alex Grinch for years at OU and at SC. And so he knows they have to be better defensively. So if I was picking one, I'd say Lincoln. It's time for him to win.
I think I'm right about this. Marty McGee and SEC Nation in Gainesville for Miami and Florida this week.
Yep.
I interviewed Laura Rutledge last night. She had a Miami and Florida helmet on.
Did she?
Yeah, for Reese's
This was not planned by us.
She had them at the house for Reese to make her picks. And you've got a Miami and Florida helmet. So my question is, how the hell do you guys get all these Miami and Florida helmets?
Well, let me tell you one secret about me. My best friends in collegiate athletics are the equipment guys. And so I love the equipment. Jeff McGrew for the Gators and my guys down in Miami. It's just yeah, Laney's tired of it because I have every helmet for every school under the sun, basically. But, yeah, I mean, I'm a big equipment guy. Yeah. I have drawers that are overflowing with gear.
Well, that's a big game, obviously, in Gainesville, and nobody thinks Billy Napier's got a chance of surviving the season. I like Billy Napier.
Me too.
I think Florida should give him a little more rope. This schedule is absolutely brutal. But either, win or lose, I mean, whoever loses this game, Mario Cristobal or Billy Napier, fan base is going to be all over them.
Yep, and I talked to Billy for 30 minutes last night on the phone, Lance. He loves this team. The competitive stamina that they've built, the culture he had to flip was far more dramatic than even I understood. He really laid a lot out last night about there's only 13 players left from his original roster. These are now young men who have SEC bodies, who have SEC stamina, who understand the standard to which they'll be held as Coach Napier, of course, is part of the Saban coaching tree, and he's old school, and he admits that. And it didn't really go well with some of the players that were there before. So I think they're going to be better than a lot of people in the national media realize. Now, I got a lot of buddies who are Florida Gator diehards, and I keep telling them he's the guy. And they're like, man, we didn't win him. He is, I think he's a great coach and a great leader of men. But, yes, this game is huge. This season is huge, sure. But getting off quick in this game is vital. They're going to be at home. That's big. He thinks Graham Mertz he just went on and on about his guy behind center and how he's grown into this program and this culture. And so he's very bullish. And I know Mario's very confident, too. He's got Cam Ward now behind center, and he's got a lot of dudes. So I can't wait to see what it looks like when we get between the lines of 3:30. But I think Florida, I know Billy thinks that they're better than a lot of people do. He loves his team.
Stay safe, man. From what I'm reading on the message boards, there's some hate between the Miami and Florida fans. They're going to be there at Florida Field. So be careful. Head on swivel, man. Head on swivel.
Always done away.
GoGameChange.com is the website. Marty will tell you more about that in a moment. As a guy that has followed Virginia Tech your whole life, this guy to my left, LT, he's a little big on the Hokies this year. And
could be.
But Marty, if you're an ACC fan, watching Florida State lose to Georgia Tech, you've got to think, man, my path to this conference championship game has opened up now.
I picked Clemson to win that league.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Of course, so much of it is going to fall to how Cade Klubnik plays. They believe he's matured quite a bit. I had a 30-minute conversation with Carson Beck in Athens yesterday, and he met Klubnik at the Manning Passing Academy and was very complimentary of Klubnik. But in Blacksburg, Ryan McGee and I interviewed Brent Pry 2 weeks ago on our show. He's got 20 returning starters, both specialists. He's got a really good, young, dynamic quarterback in Kyron Drones. And the expectations are very high in Blacksburg for the first time in heaven knows when, and they should be. He believes if they're not he being Pry, if they're not contending for the league championship, they didn't do it right. And so I feel, Pry is a Frank Beamer disciple, coached under Coach Beamer, and he understands what Blacksburg is, and that's super important. So I think he believes he has the players. I think their schedule is favorable, and so we'll see what happens. But LTI, too, am high on the Hokies.
Yeah, I mean, that schedule is so beneficial in the way they played in the second half of last season.
Time.
Let me ask you this, because neither's going to matter this weekend because Furman goes to Oxford and Western Kentucky comes to Tuscaloosa. But if I asked you only one of the two can make the college football playoff from the SEC, Ole Miss or Alabama, who would you put your money on?
I really like Ole Miss. But I guess I'll still take Bama because the players understand what it takes. DeBoer understands what it takes. From what I hear from down there, they've already been able to develop Milroe very well. I think Tommy Rees, you guys know how I feel about that. I think Tommy Rees and his staff did a good job last year with Jalen. But what DeBoer did with Michael Penix, both at Indiana and at Washington, was amazing. And so, I mean, hell, I don't know.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, no, it is.
I guess I'll take Bama because I love Lane Kiffin. He's put together a great roster. Jackson Dart's a great player, but they got to show me. Like, you know, you Bama has shown me. I know it's a new staff. I know it's a different culture, but those players understand very well what it takes on a day-to-day basis to do it. And so I'll lean Alabama a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a safe bet over the
Yeah, I
last
mean,
15
Ole
years,
Miss has a Virginia Tech-like schedule in the SEC, but I'm with you, Marty. Like, until I see Ole Miss do it, I can't believe it until I see it.
Yeah. They both
That's
could
just
do
kind
it.
of where I am, but
Yeah.
I mean, you guys probably saw the interview that Ryan and I did with Lane.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, his father passed and his vulnerability and willingness to share that influence within his journey was just remarkable. And there's an emotional stamina and an emotional evolution that I know has permeated the player level because Jackson Dart told me himself. So I think that's worth something. I really do.
All right, Marty Smith, he's here courtesy of Game Change, how you can help fund your favorite school's NIL. Tell them about it one more time, Marty.
Yeah, real quick. Thank you, boys. I love you. Appreciate you having me. Grateful for your spirit. Zen's on me next time. Dunaway.
Yeah, we did. I was going to save that for a longer story next time.
We're going to tell that story.
Yeah.
But I promise you, I'm going to bring you some threes rather than sixes.
Do they have ones?
Yeah, dude. Seeing your face and just made me laugh so hard. So it's Game Change. You go to gogamechange.com, and what it is, when you guys are going to the grocery store, they ask you to round up. It's a very similar philosophy. You go to gogamechange.com, input the credit or debit card you so choose your favorite school there on the website, and then every purchase you make with that card, the balance is automatically rounded up to the next dollar, and that balance goes directly to the school of your choice and their athletic department. It is considered a charitable donation and therefore is a write-off. I think it's a really cool way for fans to contribute to their favorite schools. Grateful to be involved with them.
GoGameChange.com is the website. Thank you very much, Marty. Enjoy week one. We'll see you soon.
3 milligrams.
3 mgs, baby. That's what Dunaway needs.
I call it my driving number. Stick to the driving number. Love you, boys. Thank
Love
you.
you, brother. See you. Marty with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. GoGameChange.com is the website. GoGameChange.com.